In this video, we shall discuss about changing cultural traditions in Europe 1300 to 1800. Generally, in Europe up to 400 AD, it is considered as ancient period. During this period, Europe was dominated by Roman Empire, which controlled much of Europe, Turkey, and Egypt for a long time. Great cities like Rome and Alexandria flourished. The culture that had been developed in Greece and Rome was of a very high order. The period between 400 AD and 1300 AD is known as medieval period. In 400 AD, Roman Empire declined and there were no large empires in Western Europe. The cities too had declined and most people lived in villages. Trade was minimal. Europe came to be dominated by a social system called feudalism. Under feudalism, political power was with large warrior landlords who controlled the villages and peasants. The peasants were mostly serfs who were bound to their lords and had to till the lands of the lords, work in their workshop, and also fight for them in wars. They also had their own lands and sustained their families by working on them too. Rome Catholic Church discouraged people from thinking for themselves and asked them to believe what the priests told them. The great cultural achievements of the ancient period were forgotten and lost. The period between 1300 to 1800 AD is known as early modern period. The lords were constantly at war with each other and this created a lot of insecurity for the peasants. The peasants had begun to resist and fight against serfdom and control of the lords and the church. There was a great revolt of the peasants in England in 1381, which ended serfdom in England. Similar movements also took place in other countries. This led to loss of control of the lords and the church over people, and people started to get freedom. Long distance trade between European countries and China, Arabia, India, and Egypt started again. This led to development of new towns, again in which traders and artisans lived. Many of these cities were politically independent and ruled themselves through municipalities. A new cultural movement began to develop in Europe. 19th century historians used the term Renaissance or rebirth to describe the cultural changes of this period. People started to question religious priests. Traders and adventurers set out on long voyages to find out new routes and lands. New trends in art, painting, sculpture, and literature developed. Science too developed rapidly. A Swiss scholar, Jacob Burckhardt, 1818 to 97, of Switzerland, wrote a book called The Civilization of the Renaissance in Italy in 1860, in which he said by attention to literature, architecture, and painting, we can understand humanist culture that have developed in Italian towns from the 14th to 17th century. He described man as an individual was capable of making his own decisions and developing his skills. He was modern in contrast to medieval man whose thinking had been controlled by the church. With the expansion of trade between the Byzantine Empire and Islamic countries, and in 12th century, Mongols opened up trade with China, and as trade with Western European countries also increased, the revival of Italian cities started. Towns no longer saw themselves as part of a powerful empire but as independent city states. Florence and Venice were republics, and many others were court cities ruled by princes. Most vibrant cities are Venice and Genoa. In these cities, clergy and feudal lords are not dominant, but rich merchants and bankers actively participated in governing the city. This developed citizenship idea deeply. Even when these towns were ruled by military despots, people did not give away this idea. Students of the ancient Greek literature, which dealt with the nature and interests of man, were called humanists. They became interested in this world rather than in future life. In 1453, Constantinople was overthrown and the Turkish or Ottoman Empire took the place of the Eastern Roman Empire. Many of the educated men who spoke Greek fled to Italy for safety. Some of them brought their Greek books with them. This led to fashion in Italy to know a little Greek. Humanism started in Italy but soon spread into France, England, and the Netherlands. Universities were established to teach new subject, law and religions. Dutchman Erasmus 1466 to 1536. He studied the New Testament in the original Greek and the writings of the early Greek Christians. He criticized some of the beliefs of the church, which he said were based on superstition in his book Price of Folly. In this period, humanists acquired books from Arabs and retranslated them into Greek and Latin and studied them. The humanist ideas extended to art and architecture too and took the form of realism. Artists observed nature, the people and places around them and sought to represent them as deities different from religious themes and ideal forms. Greek and Roman literature at this time showed the feelings, power, and strength of human beings. Artists also began to study remains of Roman culture, their buildings and sculpture, etc. Their administration for figures of perfectly proportioned men and women sculptured so many centuries ago made Italian sculptors want to continue that tradition. In 1416, Donatello 1386 to 1466 broke new ground with his lifelike statues. In these days, artists started to study anatomy, geometry, physics for quality in art which was called realism and which continued till the 19th century. Andreas Vesalius, 1514 to 64, a Belgian and a professor of medicine at the University of Padua, was the first to dissect the human body. This was the beginning of modern physiology. Many artists like Leonardo da Vinci studied human anatomy so as to make their painting and sculpture realistic. Painters found that knowledge of geometry helped them understand perspective, and that by noting the changing quality of light, their pictures acquired a three-dimensional quality. The use of oil paint as a medium for painting also gave a greater richness of color to paintings than before. Even Church commissioned great artists like Michelangelo and Raphael to paint for them and also design buildings for them, and even make elaborate graves and memorials for them. Art is embedded in nature. He who can extract it, he has it. The more closely your work abides by life in its form, so much the better will it appear. No man shall ever be able to make a beautiful figure out of his own imagination unless he has well stored his mind by much copying from life. Albrecht Dürer, 1471 to 1528. The sketch by Dürer, Praying Hands, gives us a sense of Italian culture in the 16th century, when people were deeply religious but also had a sense of confidence in man's ability to achieve near perfection and to unravel the mysteries of the world and the universe. Leonardo da Vinci, 1452 to 1519, had an amazing range of interests from botany and anatomy to mathematics and art. He painted the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper. One of his dreams was to be able to fly. He spent years observing birds in flight and designed a flying machine. He signed his name Leonardo da Vinci, disciple of experiment.